Let's walk over here and show you some cool things. Does anybody grow Japanese maples?
Trying to.
Yes, I have one.
Everybody, yeah, understand Japanese maples? They're small trees.
Right.
And there's a reason that in Japan, it's not a small place. It's not a big place. It's islands, and they have very limited space, and so they have to. They want to develop small trees because they can't let them get big.
Right.
I'm an arborist. I love trees, and I really appreciate. I love Japanese maples because they're very delicate, but they're small. They don't get real big. And so I planted a Japanese maple because I wanted a nice small tree that eventually I could use nothing but an 8-foot ladder to prune and make look very nice.
Good luck.
But I made a mistake. I planted one and put wood chips around it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A serious mistake. And I was so intentional about this being small as that I planted it underneath my fir trees in full shade.
Which is the worst place.
Because you want to plant the tree in the sun.
Supposedly.
So I'm doing everything to make this tree small and manageable. Let's go look at it. And I'll just tell you up front, it's only 12 years old. Now we're approaching this tree. Now you see behind this fir tree with a clothesline on it? You see that gorgeous Japanese maple?
Oh my. Wow, that's pretty big.
You see where it is? It's growing underneath fir trees in full shade.
Wow.
It's 12 years old.
I wouldn't have
And
taken
it's supposed to be a small tree. Come here, look at the root ball, and I'll show you what's happening.
What you should have done is you should have fertilized it. You could have stunted it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I like your log house. That's pretty cool.
It's been a great house. I built this house 35 years ago. I raised 7 kids here.
Did you build that?
Yep.
I'm getting ready to build one.
I'll tell you why I built a log house. I grew up in Los Angeles, where we have earthquakes. I lived in a house built in the 1900s with all plaster walls. I no sooner get all the cracks filled and painted, we get another earthquake, all these cracks. I says, I'm going to build something that can flex. I've had it with this. Logs are awesome. My kids mark on the walls, just give them a chisel, they'll clean it up. The thing will totally flex in an earthquake, it'll last forever. Yeah. And it's a thermal mass and it holds heat. Right now you see all the roots at the surface there?
Oh,
yeah.
See, my wood chips have broken down. I'm not bringing any more back in.
You really should have used it some more.
Look at the size of the wood of that trunk, and then look at the look at the density of foliage. Look how full that is. Now, all of you, I want you to all to come over here. I want you to arrest your thinking. All of you who think you have hard, nasty, impenetrable ground to work with, I want you to see my soil. Come over here. Look at my soil, everybody. It's right here. Come look at it.
I like your furniture. Did you build it?
No, one of my wife's clients, she's a midwife, made those chairs in here. But look at my soil.
Oh, yes.
This soil is what you walked on
I recognize
and
that.
ate from in all those spaces. That's what's under all that stuff.
Wow.
Could you please repeat that again?
All that stuff you walked on out there and ate from is growing in this. And I want to tell you something about God. He's not challenged by clay and rock. It doesn't bother him. And I love that word that says, as we behold the Lord, we're being changed from glory to glory. Everything that comes in contact with God, including clay and rock, gets changed to the ultimate benefit. I love it. See, there's nothing challenging for God. Just cover this, and you're totally there. It's just, I'm telling you, it's totally awesome. Isn't that an awesome tree? Look at the shape of that. This tree right here. This to me is the most perfect example of pruning you'll ever see in the world. Look how it's just totally laced out. Nothing's touching. It's just, totally awesome. I love it. That's a witch hazel tree. It's over 60 years old. They grow very slowly. And what's amazing about this in the wintertime, when it's totally nothing happening, this thing is in full bloom, and when the snow's on it, it's like exquisite. These orange flowers with white, it's just like totally awesome.
In the wintertime?
In the wintertime, it blooms all winter. Total flowers all winter.
What's the name of this again?
Witch hazel. It's the herb witch hazel.
You said something too about the rocks having minerals that over time leach into the soil.
Here's the thing. Remember how they taught you in schools to take rocks out of your garden?
Oh yeah.
What insanity. Literally. What are rocks? Minerals. They're concentrated minerals. Excuse me? That's as stupid as taking money out of the bank and throwing it away. You want minerals in the soil to feed your plants. And they told you you can't grow stuff in rocks. And all of you have driven along mountain passes, all of you, and you've seen gorgeous firs, hemlocks, pines growing out of solid rock, bright green, totally healthy, and they're growing out of solid rock, and you go home taking rocks out of your garden because you're told that you can't grow a garden here? What happened to us? We lost our minds. They took us to school and erased our brains. We don't think. We no longer think. I have an altar over here I love. It's a big rock pile. And I call it my altar because if you notice in the Old Testament that whenever people have encounter with God, he'd have them build an altar. And the reason he did that because we have short memory. We forget stuff. Every time they came across that altar, they were reminded, well, that's where I encountered God. And they remind themselves of that encounter. So this rock pile over here is my altar. Every time I walk by it, it reminds me of the stupidity of not asking God. Those rocks came out of my garden when I spent hours tilling, hauling them all out. I mean, I worked hard to fail. I worked really hard to fail. I'm telling you, man, it's stupid. It's stupid. And we keep doing it because of the disconnect.